And you're listening to Relationship 911, where we talk about modern love, hookups, hanging out, and everything in between. I'm your co-host, Dr. Ani, joined in studio by...
I'm Dr. Ken.
I'm producer Danny.
And future Dr. Adam, FDA.
Okay. Wheels up.
We're here.
Happy New Year, team.
Happy New Year.
How's
Happy
it
New Year.
going?
Happy holidays.
2017.
Oh.
Earlier, I was calling you all Ani's Angels. We got the three of you in
Wow.
here.
Which one would I be, though?
I know which one you're not. Okay.
Wow.
Let's jump right in. Okay. So we got a lot of text over the holidays. I'm feeling very popular. I'm sorry, I became narcissistic there for a minute. We're very popular. So
What was that?
I don't know.
It makes total sense, though.
Okay. So we'll talk about that later, FDA. So Relationship 911, this is a text. My holidays sucked, and I'm so sorry for that person. That's so horrible. I'm sorry your holidays sucked. Had a huge fight with my partner's sister in front of everyone. My partner is still pretty pissed at me. Any tips on damage control? Well, first of all, I just want to say that he or she is probably not the only one that had an argument with their family over the holidays. Pretty darn common. But what do you think? In terms of damage control, it happened in front of everyone. So that's the part that's a little sticky. I think that's tough because, and I have other questions, kind of like, was this the first, hopefully it was not the very first time that they ever met the family, because that would just be, I mean, just don't even go back.
That's a game changer. For sure.
Find a new family.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if you've been in a relationship for a while, and what is most likely to happen is after being around somebody else's family, people get more comfortable. Sometimes there's alcohol involved, and things get heated, and they get a little touchy. So after, this sounds like this is after the fact. It's just out there now. It's out there. People know it happens. They're going to be the big elephant in the room. How do you control things or get some damage control with your partner? My first thing is you kind of want to do an autopsy on what happened with your partner, but I don't think you should do it in your living room.
No.
I think you should go to a public place. I think you should go to dinner, don't drink, but go somewhere that's familiar, that feels comforting to both of you, and go say, and don't make it about the partners. Like, don't personalize it. Actually externalize this event. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about this event and do an autopsy on it, and what happened, and what was it, what is it, and then just kind of unpack it like it's its own entity.
I think the easiest thing to do there is that you are pretty raw in that situation.
Yes.
And the easiest thing to do is to blame. Say, you did this in front of my family and embarrassed me.
Right.
And all that's going to do is bring up defensiveness in either way.
Yeah.
Or
It's
if she
so
says,
counterproductive.
Your sister did this, and that's why I reacted in that way. While that might be 100% accurate,
Right.
it's just not going to get anywhere in this relationship.
Yeah.
So one easy way to start is to focus on yourself, your role in the entire problem that you had. Use I statements.
That's true.
Because you never use I statements in an argument, if you notice it. You always go, you. You always do this.
So I think the other thing to do is maybe highlight that everybody has the same goal. Like, you and your partner have the same goal, which is, let's get back on track. Let's move on. Let's restore this connection. The sister's important, the family's important, you're important. And so that kind of goes back to use one of your terms, Dr. Ken, which is, start with what's solid about your relationship. So as you sit down, before you jump in and dive into this kind of traumatic event or this like touchy event, where it's a little bit like a landmine, start first with the solid things about your relationship and where you are and the things that are good in your relationship, and kind of anchor, that's your term, Dr. Ken, kind of anchor the relationship and the positive things before moving on and then kind of discussing this kind of, touchy or negative event. And then I think you're right. You have to use I statements. You don't want to go to the blame circle, because that's just going to, what is that word?
Escalate.
Escalate.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's just going to escalate things. I'm a big fan. I don't know if you guys are. It's because I was an English major and I love writing, but I always write my thoughts down. So if I know if I'm walking into a big meeting, or if I know if I'm walking in, and I kind of see this as kind of a meeting. You're kind of circling the wagons. You're going to have a meeting. I like to kind of write my thoughts down, like the thing, because my thoughts never come to me in the moment.
I don't think they do for anybody. I'm
They
always like, I'm
always-
going to say this, 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 and this. And then I get up there and I just yell.
My thoughts always come to me like in the car, like
Yeah.
I'm driving,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
in the shower, you're just like, yes, this is the perfect thing to
So
say.
okay,
And
so
then
how do you remember those? Because when I'm driving, especially now with the new law, you're not even supposed to like
Think?
touch your phone. You're not even supposed to think about your phone. Yeah, I mean, did you all get your holders yet? I have mine. It's still in the box. I haven't put it up. Did you put yours up,
No.
Danny?
No, it's still on the way.
Yeah.
I'm a rule breaker. I'm not abiding by any of that.
No, me either. I'm,
So-
using, I'm using that speaker system. Yeah,
But I
I'm
think
good.
it's so important. Like when those things come to you, how do you
How do you hang on to them?
How do you
remember
hang
them?
on to them and
Yeah.
remember them? I mean, I have
good
those
point.
sticky pads on my phone that I use, but I still have to text it. I haven't put in the dictation yet.
I use old school method, a pen on your hand. Just write it on the hand.
yeah.
You know,
That,
if
I
you
mean,
have
if
to.
if all else fails,
Yeah.
right?
And
Yeah.
it's
There's
usually
no law against that.
Usually, all it takes is one word for you to just kind of to re-jog your memory. You don't need a lot. You don't need to write down like in essay form or something like that. You just need something to go, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking in this moment. And that's gonna trigger that memory.
Yeah.
Sadly, all my best thoughts come after the fact, after having the talk.
Yeah.
But if you're in the car, I mean, just pull over. I mean, there's little things you can do real quick just to get those thoughts down. You don't
If
have
it's
to,
important.
If it's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, have those thoughts ready to go.
I wish more people did pull over, when something
yeah.
important
Yeah.
is going on. And that's such a good reminder. Because was it you that I was talking
Was
to?
it me?
Where you pulled over and we were talking about something and you're like, let me pull over and
Yeah.
I'll write this down.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was you.
Mhm. Yep.
See, I thought that was such a great idea.
I'm looking
Look,
out for the rest of my people,
well, that's what you do. You're just a great guy.
just a giver.
But going back to the texter.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a guy or girl, whoever.
Yeah.
Their partner had an argument with the sister.
With a sister. I wanted to go back to that too.
Right.
Do we know whether the partners want
Yeah.
to still be partners? Or was this something insurmountable?
Right.
Yeah.
That's my
So,
question.
I think the generic question is a good one because I do think that sometimes people unwittingly kind of start a drama because there's no going back, But I think the opposite of that is sometimes you can be set up by the family.
Sure, exactly. That's my thought.
So that they're walking into a
Yep.
trap. So what do you do in either situation? Because what if you do if it's a setup from the start?
I got set up on a date once.
Yeah.
Walked into family dinner. The mom, I didn't know this,
Yeah.
was a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
She's eating. She says, "What do you think about President Clinton?"
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was a bomb.
Yes.
This was a Republican family.
Right.
So I go on for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
And-
Until I realize,
Praising.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
praising Clinton.
The 8
While
years
rest
of
them are fuming.
prosperity.
They're
everything.
seething.
Yeah.
They're seething.
And
Their
it was.
heads are
I was
exploding.
set up. And it
Yeah.
was because the mom didn't like me the moment she saw me.
Right.
And it was like she was going to set me up and make sure I couldn't come
Well,
back to
this is the thing. When family members don't like a significant other, many, many times it's because they feel insecure. They think or feel that they're going to lose some of the leverage that they have with a significant other. And so I think one of the things to keep in mind is if you're getting set up or you feel like you're getting set up is that it's coming from a place of insecurity because they're coming out strong and they want you to feel weak. So I think it's really important to keep in mind that they're the weak one. They're trying to inject me with that feeling of weakness, but that's not my feeling. That's their feeling. And that's what will keep you calm in that moment. Because if you go there, if you escalate, you're giving them exactly what they want.
Precisely. I've learned how to handle it with 2 words.
How did you handle it?
You first. I didn't do it then,
You know what?
but I will
that
now.
applies in many situations.
Oh, yeah. In other words, somebody's setting you up. If you don't know, ask them to go first. You go first. Then you'll know what ground you're standing on. That was a tough one for me
That's-
because I really
Yeah, it sounds like
liked
it.
the person I was dating,
Pearls of wisdom from producer Danny here
but I
tonight.
didn't like his mom, and
Yeah.
I still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that brings up that big question of, do you want to deal with that the rest of your life?
Exactly.
Right? You meet someone that you really care about, you like. It might be towards the beginning. That's a huge red flag. You walk in a room and they're always
Precisely.
dropping these bombs on you.
That's so
Do you
sad,
really want to
though.
deal with that?
Controlling family.
It's so sad if you love somebody, but you really can't stand their family members, or their family members are just really mean to you.
You want to know what
Yeah.
the fight was about afterwards? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you prepare me? This family had
Yes.
done this for years. Sunday night
Right.
discussion, always about
Well,
politics.
that's a good question,
And it's-
because why didn't they?
Why didn't he
They
say
didn't have your back.
You don't see them around anymore, do you?
I do not.
No. Well, that's what happened.
So what if you have a fight with somebody over the holidays, your significant family member of your significant other, and you look back and you're like, you know what? This is a symptom that I'm not happy in this relationship. Like,
Yeah, maybe
I took a stick of
unconsciously
dynamite
you
to
did it
my
on purpose.
relationship
Yeah.
because I'm really not that happy, but I don't want to be the one to leave. I don't want to be the one to start that conversation. It's kind of like,
I think you see that a lot when people are unhappy or frustrated or angry about something. They'll take it out on the weakest link or somebody that is a little safer, I guess you would say. Maybe she felt comfortable fighting with this woman instead of the
Right.
partner or something.
Right.
And I think deep down, unconsciously, a lot of times you're doing this to kind of set the stage for, this relationship isn't going to work. Because that's just a little bit too, maybe you like the person you're with, but know deep down that it's not
it's
for the
not
long
the right
term.
one.
Yeah,
right.
that it's not.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people will kind of set that stage with these little things so that when the big thing comes, it's not so hard.
Right. But what if it works? I mean, what if that's because this becomes this big drama and there is a breakup kind of because of it? Like, are there any lessons learned other than like, well, that was the way to go because that worked and I'm out?
Aren't we jumping into like some huge conclusions
And
here,
we're
though?
just
I mean,
having
like it's
fun.
like
We're
the
just having
holidays.
fun.
There's probably alcohol involved, as we said earlier, and what
No,
if,
but what if somebody like I said looks back and is like, yeah, I blew that up on purpose.
in retrospect, yeah, of course, I'm sure that happens. But also, fights happen and arguments happen, and people don't always agree.
Totally.
And
yes.
what's to say that maybe an apology
Exactly.
wouldn't fix the situation or help out in that moment? People fight all the time. And I think that going back to Dr. Ken pointing the fingers, sometimes we just don't take the time to be like, hey, you know what? I messed up.
Yeah.
Maybe that was my fault.
Especially if alcohol is involved,
Yeah.
especially at the holidays. You're
So how would you
stressed,
do
you're
that?
annoyed.
How would you? Are you talking about apologizing to your significant other or apologizing to the sister?
If you're to blame or if it's your fault that, things happen, or if you just want to fix the situation, I think you apologize not only to your partner, but to the family
I
as
agree.
well.
Yeah. So how would you do that? Would you do that at like the next family gathering? Would you a phone call? Would you text it? How would you orchestrate that apology?
If I knew the family well, then I would kind of handle it that way. If I don't really know the family well, I would talk to my partner first and see which way they like to communicate. Is it texting? Is it?
I don't think you should
I'm old
ever
school. I like
text
to
an
call.
apology.
I either call or meet in person.
I think minimally, an apology should be over the phone.
At least over the phone.
yeah.
Yeah. But nowadays, a lot of people just text. That's how they communicate, and that's how they kind of want to do it. Maybe email.
And
but
it's easier.
It
So
is
people are just like,
easier.
yeah, I'll just
Right.
send this text.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
So is that the whole purpose? And there's a lot of room for misinterpretation in a
Totally.
text versus a phone call. And
Yeah.
then somebody has it and they can take it out of context.
Yeah.
right.
But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, an apology, just even if you're
Apology goes a
not
long way.
totally to blame, just own what you contributed to that
Right.
interaction.
Yeah.
And
And even if you were 100% right, you can still apologize for how you handled
Oh,
it.
yeah.
To
to quote Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
when they go low, we go high.
Yep.
You guys are way too intellectual. I take off my earrings and my heels and we go for it.
Oh, I just did that last night, Danny. So, all right. And with that,
I'm thinking, I wish it would be so calm that we could handle problems like this.
you know what's
Sometimes
really weird is when the FDA takes off his earrings.
They're still off, so watch out.
watch out.
So thanks for listening to Relationship 911. You can hear us anytime as a podcast on Mixcloud. Just search Relationship 911. You can also like us on Facebook. Please do. At Relationship 911 Radio, or follow us on Instagram. Enjoy. Oh, wait. Coming up on our next segment, how to wipe the slate clean and give your dating game a boost. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your relationships. We'll be right back.